Crunchy.
Hello, Crunch community. My name is Levi Out Loud. Call me Levi. Call me Loud. Just don't call me out. I'm here with John, and we're doing like a little ranking tier list of the new show from Amazon, Secret Level. Now, Secret Level was from the same visionaries as Love, Death, Robots. It came with 15 episodes. They released the first seven or released like the first eight, and then another
hmm
seven came next week. And these are all based on video games, so it's sort of like a celebration of gaming. I thought it was very nice. I wish maybe the visuals were a little bit different in each one. As with Love, Death, Robots, like each one's like a lot different. But it seems like most of these all use like the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
There was only a few that have a different animation. The stories were really great. I don't think it was as great as Love, Death, Robots. The voice acting was really great. Right? You definitely notice a lot of voices in here. Arnold Schwarzenegger,
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves,
Kevin Hart.
Kevin
Back.
Hart. Yeah, Kevin
hmm
Hart. Um, Ultimately, I I don't know. Like it wasn't like the best I've seen, but it was still entertaining.
Yeah, I would say like it wasn't anything groundbreaking because I think it was hard to get invested because it is an anthology. So
Hmm.
each story is different. It only gives you 10 minutes max. I'm sorry,
Hmm.
10 minutes till or 10 to 15, I should say, 10 to 15 minutes for each story. And so you don't have enough time to really get invested. So they're very short. And I think that's its issue. But I'd still say this is successful
Hmm.
because it does, appeal to an audience that's for gaming primarily. So it's really people who are interested in video games who are watching this. I'm not quite sure how the general audience feels about it because I'm pretty sure they're going to be kind of confused about the run times for each one, how none of them coincide with each other. So I have no idea what the general public thinks of it. But I think like as gamers and people who appreciate video games, I think this was a hit for us. I think, like I said, nothing groundbreaking, but I think that this is something that is cool. I think they should keep doing it. And if they're able to do this with these kind of IPs, I wonder who else would, be willing to jump on board
Hmm.
um with this as well.
Um, you should really look into Love, Death, Robots because I think the general audience might like these because of how popular Love, Death, Robots is. And Love, Death, Robots is on its third season. It's exactly like this. They're all anthology shorts, but they're all animated. And this was just like a little nugget compared to what Love, Death, Robots is. I know Oni has watched it. I think Oni, you've probably seen us discussing it, which one's our favorites before. But yeah, this one, I don't know. The thing is that because these come from properties, you want to see one more than the other, or something like that. As some of these, I
Mhm.
feel like they dragged on for long whiles. Like, oh man, I like some of these I could not stay invested in them, and there was others where I like, okay, I love this, I love where it's going. That's it. I was like, what the hell going on?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's it. Like that's all I get. Like a little 5 minutes. That's it. And
Yep.
then but yeah. And then there was another one that one of these was like just a huge advertisement, which it was just it kind of sullied all of these. It was just, oh, this is a big huge commercial. Okay, are you sure
Yeah,
this is not a
I think
commercial?
I know which one you're talking about, and I wasn't too upset about it, to be honest with you. I did I at least enjoyed that they were part of it.
Hmm.
Like I that's pretty much all you can really ask for them to try to include all these different IPs into one little thing. But I think it's a good celebration of the brand, at
Hmm.
least.
Yeah.
At least they can say they
Um.
were part of it, unlike
Yeah.
Microsoft.
Yeah. John's referring to how because it came out that Microsoft refused to do a Master Chief and a Doomslayer crossover, which
Yeah,
that
the team had approached them, and they asked them if they wanted to do, and apparently they poured their hearts out into this message that they sent Microsoft, and they replied with nah, apparently. Like
Yeah,
quite literally nah. Like that's all that they said. They don't want to be part of it.
yeah,
And I have
which
no idea why they would just pass that up. Like it's just free money or free advertisements. And then they have Doom, another Doom title coming up, and ain't shit going on for Halo. So I don't see the reason in saying no to it. But
yeah,
who knows, dude? Apparently they know what they're doing.
yeah, it's just like Microsoft has been in the it's been third place for the longest time. It's just unfortunate that they don't see that motivation and what that could do for their uh, IPs. Like Halo hasn't been popular since like Halo 3. It has not ever started
Yeah,
the same
in like a decade,
momentum.
dude. Yeah,
Mhm.
Halo hasn't been relevant in like a decade, bro.
And then this could also do big leaps for Doom, which yeah, I think they have a new Doom game coming out, but
Yeah, there is a new Doom game coming out, so I don't know why they wouldn't be on board with this because this could definitely point some, heads towards Doom. The new Doom game that's coming out, just like this Pac-Man game.
Mhm. But going into this, first, what would be your rating for the entire first season? My rating.
Uh, Go ahead.
Oh, okay. You go ahead and do your
I think giving it like a 7 is pretty solid.
7.
Yeah, I,
That
I think I think that's pretty solid because I like above everything else, like aside from not being able to get that investment or wanting more, at least I wanted more. At least it gave me that much excitement. So I think giving it a 7 is pretty solid, to be honest with you.
yeah. I am also agreed coming onto this that it deserves a 7. I almost gave it a 6, but I was like, I might rewatch a few of these. A few of these, definitely some of these lowered it down to that 7. Um,
Yeah,
do it? Yeah, 7. 7. I was like maybe 6.5, but I
yeah,
think
I was
7.
kind of teetering on the 6.5 too, but I think it's like the voice acting, the
Hmm.
animation, and some of the stories were just really good. And I
Hmm.
think that's what really brings it up to a 7 rather than like the other things that could really bring it down. There wasn't a lot to bring it down, to be honest with you. Um, but like I said, like they're anthologies. Some of the stories that you can't get invested in, um, like they suffer because they has to drag on for an extra 7 minutes or whatever the case is. And but for the stories that were actually entertaining, for the voice acting that was actually entertaining, and for the animation that they were able to pull off with Unreal Engine, like it's crazy to me, like what kind of animation they can pull off. So I had to give it, a 7. Just overall, especially the idea itself. Like I thought it was a really good idea.
Okay, cool, cool. So for this tier list, I think that we should put them in their respective letter, D, C, B, or A. And then since this is from going from best to worst, that's when we should line it up. I think that would be a lot easier. Do you think that would be a lot easier, John?
Lining them up in the way we think they are, you mean? Or are
So
we rating them as they come?
we'll put them A, B, C, D, and then we'll start moving them around. Or do you think we should rate them as they come and go, and that'll be a lot easier?
I think we should rate them as they come and go. Like as we get
Okay.
to each one, let's go ahead and rate each one. We'll place it in the letter, whatever the case is.
Okay. So I think anything. So I think it should be like 9, 10, um, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then anything below 5 would be at D.
Yeah.
Okay, and then of course, guys, if you're new to the show, we nominate something from the very top, which is A rank, into Crunchy, and something from the very bottom to D rank is Soft Gummy. Crunchy is our MVP, the GOAT, and then something is Soft Gummy. Because on this channel, you don't want to be called Soft Gummy, you know.
Hmm.
So going into it, our first one up is the very first episode, Dungeons and Dragons: The Queen's Cradle.
What do you think
A-
for this one? I'm
As a
interested.
dungeon
I'm interested to know what your rating is for this one.
As a Dungeon Dragons fan, this one I look forward to the most. I like the visuals a lot. I necessarily it was fine. It was fine. It wasn't the most spectacle thing that I saw. Maybe I wish it a little see a little more, but the visuals are amazing. Like when you see the giant dragon at the very end, I think Tiamat. Tiamat was
Hmm.
just such an amazing visual, and then some of the grotesque imagery about the torture going on with him was also really good. I think the cleric that they have in the end, he said that he was like tortured for years and years,
Yeah, yeah.
and so like, and I even see the dragon just speak. It was just something like out of a movie. This one was very picture value. Before we go, guys, we are giving them ratings 1 through 4. I mean 1 through 5. We add them together, and now we'll place them on the graph.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna give it a 4. A 4.
Okay. I'm actually surprised that you weren't as infatuated with it. Because I thought it was actually pretty good, especially towards like the last, what is it, 5 minutes or so. Like once we're inside that little
The
dungeon
fight.
area. Yeah, essentially, well, like once we're in there, I think that's what really started to elevate it. So I'm a little surprised that you didn't, go as fanboying, I guess, over it as I thought you probably would have. Um, but I think mine was pretty much the same. I gave it a 4, in my mind, and I thought that you were gonna have a higher rating than I was, but I think we're pretty similar on how we think of that.
Okay, so 8. All
Mhm.
right, cool. But then next up, yeah, it was fine. I think a lot maybe the Goblin Girls are like a little bit annoying. I think that's what I heard from a lot of people as well. They shared that same, but it was
Mhm.
fine. Like even the bridge scene was really great.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
that's so
very
too.
typical dungeon, like seeing the dwarf as a monk, just
Mhm. Yeah.
torture people. But the next up was Sifu. It Takes a Life. I've been wanting to play Sifu a lot, and but it was this one was one of the ones that ran short, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's it. This is one I wanted to look forward to the most. And like I've been seeing mods so much so that I just want to get this one on PC because I saw where you could put like a Chun Li model over
Yep.
Sifu, and I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, I want to do that. Like, you know, but yeah, this one's so good. It had a very touching story. I really wish we probably get an animated movie out of this. The entire message at the very end with the ramen lady, where
Mhm.
she was like, was those 60 years wasted? And she was like, it was worth there every minute, like, and it was just so great. You see the little puddle of the guy, and it's just all about
Yeah.
sacrifice, and it was just a
And like
really
seeing
great
like seeing
story.
like the connection in her eyeballs, like the way he's getting his food ready or preparing
Mhm,
himself to eat and stuff. So it was really good, man. Like you said, like this was one of those ones where you're wanting more. Like you really wanted to see
mhm,
more from it. And above all else, dude, the fight scene was amazing. Holy
mhm.
Jesus. It was a really good fight scene.
Um, yeah, but I think this one I gotta give it a 5,
This one, yeah, I gave a 4.5 to this one.
4.5.
Yeah.
So that's our first A tier. Yeah, it was just it's so good. I think this one might be my favorite ones, but it was just the runtime that I was just not appalled to it. I think 4.5, 4.5 as well, just because of the runtime, which it still hits that A
Mhm.
tier mark. But this one is New World, the Once and Future King. I gotta say, I really enjoyed this one. I
This one
really
was really funny. Yeah.
um I also like the message that it gave, where he's not a king without his people,
Mhm.
and just the fact of him keeps on dying and dying.
Yeah. Dude, I thought it was really funny, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice acting for some reason. I don't really know why. But I just thought they couldn't have gotten such a more perfect voice for this character. Like as I was watching it, like I truly like I couldn't even like not think of this character not having Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice, dude. Like it was just perfect for me. I really enjoyed the timing, the voice acting and stuff. So I think everything about that was really cool.
I really enjoyed there's also symbolism that someone pointed out that when he turned the crown into the arm for his servant, that was the first time he picked him up because he was always getting picked up by his servant.
Mhm.
Um, So it was just really showed that he had grown from beginning to end,
Yeah,
and
essentially. Yeah.
it was really good. I really enjoyed it. It was, I didn't think this was the first one that this was the first one I came into not knowing what this series was. But
Yeah, same.
Elstrom, Elstrom was really fun to watch.
Hmm.
What's your rating for it? I think I'll
Um,
give it a 4.5.
I think for me, like you're gonna be pretty surprised, but I'm only gonna give it a 3.5. And
Wow.
the only reason for that is because like apart from like the comedy and like the voice acting and stuff, like there wasn't really much else for me to really enjoy from it. Everybody else like all has like the dialogue and stuff, but this one really just didn't have like that action sequence, or it didn't have a lot for me to like latch onto outside of
Mm,
like Arnold Schwarzenegger's performance.
mm,
So I think giving it a 3.5 is fair for me, at least, because I just if
yeah.
it had one more element to it, I probably would have given it a 4.
Okay. So we're saying that this is you like Dungeons and Dragons better than this one?
Yeah, just a little bit
Okay, okay,
better,
okay.
just
All
tiny
right.
bit better.
That's fine. That's perfect. I think I as well. Might have liked. I don't know. I think I like the Aelstrom better the than Dungeon Dragons. But we got this one, Unreal Tournament Zan. This was honestly a really I
This
did
is
not think
cool.
I was gonna like this one because I remember I got Unreal Tournament. I forgot which one it was. I got it from Hastings. I rented it from Hastings, I think,
Hmm.
and I immediately returned the next day. I was so bored with it, and I thought it was gonna be like Gears of War. That's why I got it, and
Hmm.
it wasn't anything like Gears of War. I didn't understand what was going on, so I just immediately returned it. But this one was really great. I really enjoyed it. Just the Zahn had a lot of personality, and seeing the whole war going on and
Yeah, dude.
the whole rebellious activity is
I
just like,
I really enjoyed Zahn's like little origin story too in the beginning.
yeah,
And like the whole like artificial intelligence taking over learning and stuff, and like you see, but the thing that was cool about it is that you get to see the trial and error, you get to see the learning process of this robot, as well as seeing the triumph of it all. Like despite everything that was against this robot, like they were able to succeed and basically just take over this tournament that was going on. It was so cool, man. Like this was like, as much as I want to say I want more from this, I think that's pretty much the perfect amount that you can give for this story. Because I feel like a little too much more, and I think you start getting into like a little bit of a convoluted story.
yeah.
But I think it had just the perfect amount for what this series wanted it to be. So it's no more, no less, and I think this hit that sweet spot.
Mhm. Yeah, I just really enjoyed it overall. There's just a lot of personality with the robot, and it was resolved pretty quickly. And like this
Yeah.
one's like one of those where it didn't have a open ending. Like it ended.
Yeah.
He got to
Yeah, and I
rebel.
and I think that's what I mean. Like I really like had the sweet spot, dude. Like
Mhm.
the pacing was good. It didn't linger too long on things that kind of didn't matter. So I feel like this was like the perfect episode for the show for
I
what
think
they
I'm a,
want to achieve.
I think I'll give this a 5.
Yeah, this one's a 5 for me.
All
So
right.
far, this one's a 5 just because like it hits everything that I think Secret Level wants to achieve with these shows.
So is this one over Sifu or behind
I
Sifu?
think for me, Silver Sifu.
It's over Sifu.
Hmm.
It is ranked higher. You gave it a 4.5, right?
Yeah, Sifu I gave point five,
Okay.
4.5.
All right. For me, I think I like Sifu a lot better than Zan. But all right. I was like, this one might be one of the. I was like, I think John will like this one a lot.
Yeah, I loved this one, dude. This one was
um,
really dope.
this is episode 5, Warhammer 40,000, and they shall know no fear. This one was just the whole walking where they're just tearing down these. I'm not assuming raiders or bandits or I don't know
Something,
what.
dude. It was badass though, man. I wanted to
Just
punch something, bro. I
just
wanted to punch something in my room, bro. I was pumped. I was
it
fucking
was
pumped watching this one.
it was giving that little adrenaline boost.
Hmm.
And Oh man, there was a what was that creature called? Um, like it was a sorcerer.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know what the creature was called. I cannot remember for the life of me. But that thing was scary, dude.
yeah, it was scary. It was
That
like
was
something on
scary.
Nightmare Fuel, and it
Yeah.
was just able to freeze time. Like
Hmm.
I was like, holy shit! Like, and it just starts tearing down them, and tearing down this like brotherhood and stuff like that. And one of the main characters, what's the main character's name? Lieutenant Titus, right?
Yeah, Lieutenant Titus.
Yeah, for some reason he's able to kill it because he I think it was because he doesn't fear
He
anything,
doesn't
right?
have fear. He didn't have fear. That's what it
And
was.
it was just like holy shit, and he's just able to kill the beast. I was like, this is really really good. This is super good, and
Yeah.
this makes me realize that maybe Warhammer can be done right. Maybe Henry Cavill's onto something.
Hmm.
of the
I believe so.
but yeah, this was super good. I enjoyed every minute. I didn't think I was gonna enjoy it because I'm not a huge Warhammer fan. I mean, I never gave it a try. I probably will be. I probably will be because I like Gears of War and um,
I think this is a game you would really like. I think you would really like the game.
probably so. Probably so. And
I
not
know
the
for a fact I would enjoy playing this game, dude. I just haven't bought it, but I've seen the gameplay. I know what the gameplay is, dude. Like it's just such a
well,
cool game.
so they have different stuff because I know with Warhammer 40,000 usually it's a RTS,
Hmm.
which is real
No,
time
it's not.
strategy. It's
No,
not.
it's not. It's basically just like
Are you
there's
sure?
there's there's missions. Yes, it's not real time strategy. So this one's completely different,
No,
or
you're
at
talking about
least
the
at
most
least
recent one. You're talking
most
about the
recent
most
one.
recent. Yeah,
Yes,
that's what you're
the most
yeah,
recent Warhammer.
yeah, because like even the figurines is like real time strategy and stuff like
Hmm.
that. But yeah, this one I enjoyed the imagery and then walk into darkness while you see like this bioluminescent blood just being
Hmm.
dragged. It was
Yeah,
super good. It was
dope.
super
That
good.
was dope, dude.
I would give this a 5.
Yeah, for me, it's also a 5. It's really hard to put anything down on this one
Hmm.
because it does the exact same thing that Zan did, which is achieve what it wanted to achieve in the
Yeah.
whole episode.
All right. We uh so where are we putting this one at? Above
Or that well,
Zan?
you gave that one less than a 5, so that one is
I
moved
gave this
over.
one less than a 5.
I thought you said it's a 4 or 4.5. I can't remember.
I said 5.
Oh, you said 5 for Zen?
Yeah,
Okay, then they're tied.
they're tied. We
Yeah.
gotta break the tie, man. So, uh, what do you think?
How about we'll get to that later. So far, there's two tens so far.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, let's just let's hold it on for later.
Yeah, some of these are really good. We're gonna have a lot of 5s for me. But all right, so we're coming to this one. 6 Pac-Man Circle.
I was very intrigued with what the hell was happening
I
because I had no clue that you could take Pac-Man into whatever the fuck this is.
I'll say this might have been one of my favorites, honestly. It was just such an intriguing story, and I didn't really see where it was going from. And if you told me, I wish they didn't do the title card at the very beginning. I think they should say that to the
Yeah,
very end or
they
something
should
like
have
that.
saved it for the end. They
With some of
absolutely
these,
should have saved it for the end. I think
because
that's just something that just would have been like a mic drop. You know what I mean?
yeah, because some of these like I think it would be fun so I can guess which some of these games are because a lot of these games like maybe I know 5 of these games that I've heard from. Um, and then the other ones that are so kind of obscure, and like the rest are super obscure where I've never heard of them. But this one, Pac-Man, they made their own original story, and they actually have a video game that's centered around like
Yeah,
this.
that's based
Um,
around this.
yeah, and this would have been very interesting to see. I was like, oh, this is Pac-Man, like what?
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I truly enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed how it was just this grotesque, dark lore into Pac-Man and this little orb trying to get out when it's been imprisoned. and just when it just his the guy's body and
Hmm.
turned this like massive alien blob.
Yeah, which is basically a Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Basically turning them into this Pac-Man. Like I like the lore that they are kind of trying to run with, and it's so cool. But like I said, like I was just very surprised. Like this was the most
Hmm.
intriguing and like the most surprise episode of them all. Just because of like they took something like Pac-Man and turned this into a crazy story.
Yeah. Um, for me, I gotta give it a 5, man. I
You
truly
gave it a
enjoyed everything.
5?
Yeah, yeah, it kept me intrigued through all of it. I was like, I was really invested to see what Pac-Man was and what this world they built. And like honestly, it looks like something out of Tim Burton almost. Like
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, I liked the world that they built, but like I said, this is kind of like one of those ones where I want more.
Mm.
I don't think it did everything it wanted to do, and it had so much more to explore because I think the episode is very short. Um, Let me see. I think I could look it up the runtime. Yeah, so this one is like only 11 minutes long.
That's pretty
S-
long. That's pretty long, John.
No, but like
That's
compare
longer
like
than
I'm
most
looking
of them.
no, but I'm looking at Warhammer 19 minutes.
Oh wow.
Unreal Tournament 19 minutes. Dungeons and Dragons 16 minutes. So
Oh
like
wow.
we're like those are the longer episodes. 19 minutes is the
Yeah.
longer episodes. So like this one is just like it just leaves me like a little bit like I want to know more. I feel like they could have fleshed out a little bit more. So like this one gets a 4 for me.
4. So that's
Yeah.
a 9. A 9, yeah. So it's still A tier. Was that like above Sifu or
After Sifu cuz I gave Sifu a 4.5. I think you gave it a 5. No, I'm sorry, the other way around. Sorry.
okay, okay. Yeah, I was like 4.5 and a 5. So that's
Mhm.
9.5.
This one's a 9.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I do all this math in my head. All right. So next we got Crossfire, Good Conflict, and good God. This was one of the ones I did not care for. This one I was like, I felt dragged too long. This one they could have shaved off some time and gave it to someone else. I honestly I honestly could not remember any of the characters. I cannot even remember if one of the people died at the very end. How
There was a lot. There was a lot of characters in this one. I will be honest with you, so it's
and
hard to track.
I was just like it just felt like we jumped too late into the thing where I was like, okay, was there 2 extra minutes shaved off? Um, and it's so open ended. Like, all right, here you go. Here's the
Yeah.
facts. No, no, you can't leave me. We need the package. No, all right. I'll see you later. Credits are rolling.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, and
did
I
not
think
like this one.
what
This,
also hurts it is that it's not like fantastical in any sort of sense. Like if you look at
yeah.
all the stories we've looked at so far, there's something fantastical about everything that we've looked at. Obviously, the Warhammer world, the Unreal Tournament world, obviously Dungeons and Dragons, Sifu, Pac-Man, like all these have like a different world that has to explore. And this one's just, it just feels so generic, like wartime movie kind of conflict or modern wartime conflict. So it kind of just falls on deaf ears. It's not very interesting. So I
Mhm.
feel like they had to do something different rather than what they went for. But what I will say is that I enjoyed the voice acting and I did enjoy the action sequences at least. So those were two redeeming qualities of it. So I mean, for me, I mean, like my rating, it was like 2.5. Just
2.5.
pretty average episode, I would say. Like it didn't do anything crazy, it didn't do anything wrong. It did drag. I will give you that. It did drag, and that's what puts a lot of the points on it. But at least the voice acting was cool. At least the action was cool. So at least I did enjoy something out of it.
For me, I think I give it 2, man. Like that, I feel like I had to rewind some stuff at this. Like I just I just wasn't invested into it. I was just so I was like, damn, how long is this? Like, is anything gonna happen? Jesus. And
Yeah.
like, like it felt like part of it was like, okay, they're one upping each other, okay, but it only happened like once, and I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just like I don't even remember the characters' names or anything like that, or if they did anything cool. It just wasn't for me, man. So this is our first D because it's
Hmm.
it's like 4.5, so it's right under 5.
Yeah.
Um, but next we have let me get the whole name, but I never played this game, but maybe this is one of the ones where I don't know about it. I really want to play it. Armor Core Asset Management with Keanu Reeves. This one, this one surprisingly became one of my favorites, and I didn't expect it. Armor Core probably isn't the game I would ever play, but oh my god, I love every second of this. I just love the symbolism in it. You don't want to be alone. So like the AI in his brain, like he gets scared when it becomes silent,
Hmm.
and just there's so many great scenes. Like there's one where it's like the cigarette in the snow,
Yeah.
and then that final scene just wrapped it up really good. Nice tie where he squishes the head with his giant mech finger.
Yeah. I was just holy shit. That was crazy to me.
And
Like,
then I think the final line, I think only Keanu Reeves could deliver it. Ain't nobody like me but me. I was like, holy hell, this is freaking badass.
yeah.
I was like, this. I thought, like I thought there was nothing beat that as badass as Warhammer 40,000, but this really was amazing.
So were you raking it
I'm rated 5.
5? Fuck, dude. It's like the only thing I wanted from this one was more. Like that's literally the only thing.
I mean,
I
you got
do I do like that they were able to wrap up the sequence fairly well.
yeah.
Because this one I'm looking at it right now. It is shorter than the other ones,
Mhm.
but it wraps it up just as good. So it's hard. It's really hard, man. Like,
Even the actual scenes was really great. It
yeah,
was super
everything
good.
about it was dope, man. I mean, I'd have to
I
give it a
would,
5 too, man. I have to give it a 5. That's one of their better episodes.
yeah, this was really great. I think overall for the first half was really good. The first half was really good. And I think that's what a lot of people say is that going into this like the first half of Secret Level was the better half than the second half. The second half had all the weaker episodes, honestly.
Yeah, I would
But
say, yeah, I would definitely agree on that. But at least they came out swinging, man. At least they made everyone hyped for the second round.
but go into this one. So we talked about Armor Core, which is a game that I would want to play. This is the Outer Worlds, the company we keep, episode 9. This one didn't want me. I've been wanting to play Outer Worlds. This one does not want me to play Outer Worlds. As people are saying that this is the simp episode.
Hmm. Yeah.
But Outer Worlds, I can understand the charming fellow, and wanting to go into what you call it, you want to do this for a girl you like, I guess, and being like this naive gullible fool, and I can understand capitalism, but it just wasn't there for me, man. Overall, also the main character, he looks like something on Uncanny Valley.
Wait, something about Uncanny Valley? Would you say?
Uncanny Valley, you never heard of that?
No.
Let me look up like the textbook definition. I can't believe you've never heard of Uncanny Valley.
Mm-mm.
So Uncanny Valley is something where is a psychological phenomenon that describes the feeling of unease or revulsion that people experience when they encounter something that's almost human but not quite. You should look it up because it's like the Uncanny Valley is sort of like why people are scared of Wendigos and the Wake.
Mm. No, I have actually no clue what you're saying.
Yeah, it's just something that looks like human, but it's not. Um,
Okay. So it's just basically just like playing on that fear of, you
yeah,
know,
it,
something that
it's
looks like
it's like an
us,
uncomfortable
essentially.
thing. Yeah, it's like an
Gotcha.
uncomfortable feeling. So this guy, he does not look human. Like proportions are a little bit weird off.
I guess yeah.
So it was something a little bit weird, but I mean, it just I don't know, man. I don't find it that memorable. Like I guess I thought it was gonna be something a lot larger, a lot something bigger. Then the ending was just a little bit odd
Yeah,
as
I think
well.
this is one of those stories that um that definitely doesn't benefit from its long runtime, because this one doesn't have a longer runtime
Mhm.
along with like Warhammer. So it definitely does not benefit from that.
It
And
just it
it
didn't have a
drags
great
too
payoff.
much.
It didn't have a great pay.
Yeah, that either. Doesn't have great payoff. But then again, I'm not familiar with the Outer Worlds lore, so I have no clue if this ties into something amazing. So
Mm.
that's another thing too, because I'm completely oblivious to the Outer Worlds lore, fandom, all that stuff. So I have no idea if like the people who are involved in this like have some type of secret meaning in the actual game or the main game. So that's kind of like what I'm missing out on if this was like a big reveal for some reason. But like just me, like as a casual viewer, just watching it, like I had no real connection to it. And I think this is one of the things I like bring up like earlier when I said like when you're not like a fan of these games, like how invested can you possibly be when you have no idea who these names even pertain to? So if it has any names that are supposed to be in the game, I had no idea. And all I see is a story that just didn't have any payoff. So
Mhm.
so like for me, although I did enjoy like I like some of the fantastical things, like the body parts and the experimentations on stuff like that. It's kind
Yeah.
of like a little bit of Lovecraftian, a little bit of mystery going on there. Um I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than like what was it? Crossfire or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But like I gave this one a 3. So like for me, my personal rating is a 3 just because I enjoyed a little bit of something about it.
Yeah. That's exactly where I was going with three. It was entertaining. It was just that payoff. It just wasn't there. I was
Yeah.
expecting something like very all like inspired and or something like jaw dropping and stuff like that. And this is like the same team from New Vegas that left Bethesda to make the New Vegas.
Yeah.
But okay, so this is probably one of my favorites, but
Jesus, yeah.
also very disappointing. Very
Yeah.
disappointing. This is the episode 10, Mega Man Start, and oh my God, they could do it. They could do this, John. They could make a movie. I was getting same vibes from the new Astro Boy. I was like, this could be the next Astro Boy. Like, please, Capcom. I know you don't like Mega Man. I don't know what Mega Man did to y'all. I don't know why you mistreat him like this, but why'd you guys only sign off for 5 minutes? I don't know if it's Capcom, but oh my God, like talk about um a complete what's a word I can say? I'm just saying it was like edging. It was edging. It was edging, man. You get to he puts on the suit, boom, there, credits done. That's it. And I was like, are you serious? All we get is like explosion and then a shoot with this buster gun once. That's it, once. So I was like, oh man. But just the visuals are amazing.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so charming. They could
So
do
much
a lot with
potential.
this. They could do a lot with this. This is
Yeah. I
one.
like I said, I don't know if they could do a full movie. I don't know, and I don't want to put it out there because like I don't want them to mess it up. That's truly what it is. I would love an Origins Mega Man video game, to be honest with you, because like
Mm,
you've seen Capcom's new engine that they're using with the Resident Evil games. This can be done. They could definitely do an Origins Mega Man game with the success that Capcom's been having. So I'm not out of the realm of that. We could definitely do that. I'm all for an Origins Mega Man game. Definitely for it.
yeah. I
But
think
this was yeah, like you said, I really, really wanted more. They absolutely teased me with this one.
yeah. It was, and especially when the theme song comes in, I was singing along to it.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen that if the Mega Man theme had lyrics with
yeah.
Rental Floss. So I was singing
Hmm.
along to it. I was like, I am blue and cyan. The
Yeah.
creation of Dr. Light, all right. And I was like, I was singing along to it. I was like, oh my god, this could work so well. And I was like, oh, it ended.
Yeah.
But
And I
I
think this one was actually one of the shortest ones in the
yeah,
entire.
it was. Yeah, I hate it so much. But I think I'm gonna give this a 3.9. I know that's really weird. But I was like, it falls just very short, literally, of
Mhm.
a 4. So I gotta give it 3.9.
Yeah, I gave it 3.5 just because like I wanted so much more, dude. I wanted it. And like there's nothing you can really say to really knock it down other than the fact that it's so fucking short.
Hmm.
So for me, like I was writing on 3.5 or 4, dude, but man, I had to go to 3.5 simply because of how disappointed I was by how short it was.
So that's a 7.4. So it falls here, I believe. Yeah. All right. So that might be our lowest B. But next up we have, I think this is a new game that is supposed to come out in 2025,
Mm,
which is Exodus Odyssey. So I don't know. I think it's a space RPG, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, this one was very interesting. It played off that whole like science. Um, it's a real thing to where like if you go at light speed, you cut like the years. But if you go back to the planet, you
Mhm.
know everyone's aged. So it plays
Mhm.
off that very well. And honestly, this really reminded me of this one of my favorite episodes in Love, Death, Robots, which is Beyond the Oculus Rift, which is really
Yeah.
good. It's really good. I really love that. It's one of my favorite episodes on there. And it's just a dad trying to go save his daughter, and I was getting a little bit confused by it. And I saw like a lot of reviewers get confused by the same thing because throughout the middle of it, it shows you the time jumps.
Yeah.
For the daughter, 8 years have passed. For him, 4 years have passed. And then people kept adding onto it. It's just one continuous thing. Because like,
Mhm.
how are they this old? I was like, oh, you're not supposed to keep adding them onto it. It's doing it for you.
Yeah.
So that was really interesting. I liked how he came back to his original planet, dropped off the treasure, which is like worth millions, and then
Yeah.
he ended up becoming an adventurer himself because of his daughter.
Mhm. Yeah. So I thought it had a pretty interesting story as well too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know things can get a little cloudy with like time travel and stuff. Like you said, people are pretty confused about it. But I think it had an easy enough story to digest,
Hmm.
and the pacing I think was just good enough for it to be kind of a good pace.
Yeah, it was fine. It might seem like a little bit jarring the fact that like there's so many years past. I mean, I think
Hmm.
like the biggest jump is like 8 years maybe, or
Yeah,
like
yeah,
5 years, something like that. It's
something
like,
like that.
geez. And you know, maybe like just a little bit time because it just seems like those years passed without any difficulty for
Hmm.
him. Like I can't imagine him being in that spaceship, just trying to catch up with this. And then there was times where he was also a slave to this
Hmm.
alien race for a
Yeah.
good amount of years as well, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, it was like, why didn't you just give up? After 12 or 13 years, you was like, I was like, he loves his daughter. He
Yeah,
loves his daughter. But yeah, it was a very fun story. I think I'll give it like a 3.5.
yeah. I think I'm at about a 3.5 as well.
3.5. So was that that's a
7.
7? Yeah. So that goes up here. Where are we putting this one at? I think that's right
Uh,
after Mega Man.
yeah. No. Mega Man is higher, I think.
Mega Man's higher. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I did give it a 3.9, right? Yeah, that's
Hmm.
right. That's 7.4. This one's a 7. Okay. Next one is Spelunky Tally. This one I was looking forward to the most. I saw that a lot of people didn't enjoy it as much. They said that it was very Um, there was nothing to gain from it. Like it was just. It might also been because of short time.
Yeah,
And
short
I
time
can
as
see
well.
what I can see what people think about it. It shows her dying a lot, and they just kind of do just tie a lesson at the very end of it.
Hmm.
But overall, I mean, I still liked it. It was still it was very entertaining. Even though it's short length, I probably won't give it so much as it stay on to me. I mean, I get it. Like treat every life as an adventure.
Hmm.
At least the message stuck. I can't say much for else. They said like the music wasn't it very good. I can't remember the music.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, to be honest with you.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Not that it's like not like I disliked it, just like I'm looking for the memorable parts of this one, and it's just kind of not there. Like it's easily forgettable in this list, I think.
I mean, I felt like there was stuff to take from it.
Yeah, it's something you
That
could
final
take from
message.
it, but like I feel like this one's just not as memorable.
Did you like it over Mega Man?
Oh yeah, I definitely liked it over
I
Mega
feel like
Man.
that's biased though. I feel like that's biased.
How is that biased?
I mean, it's the same thing.
No, but at least with Mega Man, the action sequences were amazing. The origin story, it gives that to you. It had a great little like little action movie thing with like where it gives you the theme song and stuff. So like that,
Yeah,
like it gave us so much
but
more than this
that's
one.
because we know the theme song. I
Still,
don't
but
know if
what I'm saying is
I
that
don't
it's
know if that
more
I don't know if the music in
memorable. Like
Spelunky was
and
from
like
Spelunky.
and it just I feel like it delivered more in its short runtime than Spelunky.
But for me, I think I'll give it a 3.
I think 2.5 for me.
2.5.
Hmm.
That's a 5.5. So that's C tier. Is that above Simp Guy or
I think it's right there where it's at.
it's right there? I mean, uh,
That was a
I rather put
6.
I rather put Spelunky after Outer World. Is that how it went?
What do you mean? Is how what do you mean?
Is that how it is? Like, is this? Would you
Yeah,
take
it's 6,
Spelunky?
6 and 5.5.
Okay. All right. Next, we got. I'm sorry. Next, we got the one that so out of all these, like people crowd to these games because they might like them. Not for this one. Concord Tale
R.I.P.
of Implaceable. uh,
R.I.P. Concord, man.
this Concord episode is longer than the actual game.
Yeah, it was.
Um, it was a little bit hard getting into it, knowing Concord failed and but overall, I mean, it was fine. Like
It
I
was little,
tried
it was little high story.
I tried grading it the whole without that. I tried grading it without the failure, without the $200 million, without the cosplay characters, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So overall, I thought this was sort of entertaining. There's stuff where I was like, roll my eyes. I was like, oh, of course the captain survived without any sole reason. I was like,
Yeah.
I called that. I was like, I'll be more impressed if this captain stays dead, and that's but of course and I did not expect her to just show up, like,
Yeah.
hey guys. I was
I'm
like,
alive.
what the? How did we saw her fall off a cliff? I think
Yeah.
also with her hands tied,
Yeah.
right? Am I mistaken that?
No, it's in the hands were handcuffed
Yeah, I
still.
was like, okay, all right. But I did enjoy the very final bit where they gave away this item that's worth billions, and
Hmm.
now it's just basically worthless because now everyone has it to roam the stars. I don't
Hmm.
think some people said maybe at the very end there's like stuff that hints at the game, but I wouldn't know. The
I think it
game's
hints
dead.
towards the beginning of the trailer for the game.
Uh
I think that's what it hinted at. Because I remember when we saw the trailer, it took place in a little bar area like that. So
oh,
I think it hints to the beginning of the trailer.
okay.
I think. I'm not sure. Either way, I
Well,
kind of wasn't interested in it, but All I
the
could
kid.
think of in the beginning of that showcase was just like that Rick and Morty heist thing. You son of a bitch, I'm in. Yeah. That's all I kept thinking of. Like when they kept doing like the reversal on each other. Like that's all I kept thinking of during this entire little sequence. But
And that's what I thought you were gonna do, but I outsmarted you.
yeah, pretty much, dude. So like I just couldn't get over it. It was just so generic.
Yeah,
And the
it was.
characters just didn't make it any different than any other heist movie, quite honestly.
I think there was one time where like the alien lady is like shooting back at them, but
Yeah.
her arms are like a little bit weird. So like it was
Hmm.
kind of weird. Like how are you shooting back? I don't know. I mean, it was just a classic heist. Like to me, I was like, okay, this is just a heist movie. Honestly, this is just a heist
Yeah,
short. Um, but like think of a heist movie, but you just cut out like 90% of it, and
pretty
you
much.
know, so and you don't learn about any of the characters either. So there's that.
Yeah, and I think I give it a 2, to be
But
honest with
two,
you. It's a little below average for me.
I think I would give it like a 2 point. No, two. I was like, I didn't want to be like, oh, I'm grading it because it's Concord, but
Yeah, me
I'm
either.
great.
I'm not grading it because it's Concord, the IP Concord. I'm grading it because of how little I liked about it.
Yeah, it was just it's a heist movie, but it's a shortened version of a heist movie. With
Yeah.
heist movies, you enjoy watching the entire heist and the characters, and it just like I don't remember any characters from it, you know. But
Yeah.
is this? I would say this is over Crossfire. Is it over
Yeah, it
Crossfire?
is. It is over Cross.
Okay,
Wait, no,
okay.
no, no, no. This is lower than Crossfire.
Lower Crossfire.
Yeah, I think I gave Crossfire a 2.5. I think you gave it a 3.
No, I give it two.
2 or 2.5?
I get it two.
Okay, then Concord is lower
Okay, okay.
because I gave we both gave it a 2 because I gave Crossfire 2.5.
All right. Next, we have this one. I don't know anything about this one, but apparently this is a gotcha game. Um, or it has gotcha practices. But it is Honor of Kings: The Way of All Things. This one was also one of my favorites. Despite having no action in it, I just really enjoyed the story of this kid trying to beat this AI machine that can see the future and the past, and he knows everything, and he's trying to. This kid's always trying to figure out what happened to his parents. I think it's just very poetic, and I just really enjoyed uh, how he beats him.
Yeah, I would say it had a pretty compelling story as well. And I think not necessarily action sequences, but the animation that they did around the players, around the scene that was changing around them, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, like
Um,
the water in that scene just looked
yeah,
magnificent, and just the like I don't know how they did it, but just like when they changed the faces, that was really good.
yeah,
It
and I
was
like that they focused in on the changes too. Sometimes, to save money, they'll do it off screen, but like there's a lot of like face changes or morphs like right in front of the camera.
yeah, it was like I was starting to get crazy too. I was like, oh my god, like how can he beat this machine? And it's just all about human sacrifice. He was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna sacrifice myself for the greater good. I'll destroy you and me.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Mm-hmm.
had to submit. A
Yeah.
lot of people are like, if you could see everything, then how do you not see that move? I think that's what the very ending uh hints at, is that like, because at the very end you do see the AI old man, and I think he was seeing that into the future where he does lose.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, honestly, one of my favorite. This is the only one that doesn't really have an action scene in it. I mean, I guess you could call it with the parents fighting the demons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But to me, this is more just like psychological and
Mhm.
very
Yeah, it's very
dialogue heavy.
story heavy, but I will say I think for some people it might be a little hard to digest this one.
Hmm.
So I think that's where some of its shortcomings may come. I know it's short, but I mean I think it would lose a lot of people to be honest with you. Like I feel like the pacing dragged a little bit, not a lot, like some of these, but I think it does suffer from some of the pacing because it's so dialogue heavy.
Yeah. But and for reference, I don't think I'll play Honor of Kings. I think Honor of Kings is it a gacha game? I don't know. I need to find out.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure at all.
But Lord, this one I think I'll give it a 4
Yeah, same here. I'm giving it a 4.
and 8. All right. I think that's in tie with Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Above Dungeons and wait, no. Dungeons and
Because we
Dragons, you
both
gave a
gave Dungeons.
4.5, didn't you?
Yes, so it'll be lower.
Yeah, right below Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, and so our final one.
Was a big ad.
Yep, this is the one I was talking about that I just was not interested at all. I was like, what is this? Because the title got me. It was like it's called Playtime Fulfillment, and I was like, what game is this? I was like, okay. And this one also is voiced by Kevin Hart. Of course, Kevin Hart's in it.
And I think it's his daughter.
This is his daughter.
I think the
Uh,
girl's name was something Hart. Don't quote me on
um,
that, but I think it was his daughter.
yeah, Kevin Hart as O.
Let me see. Is it?
Yeah, Kevin
Oh,
Hart.
okay.
So this one, yeah, I just really didn't care for it, man. I just it felt like a parody of Ready Player One. You know, Ready Player One was a good movie. It was a good movie, but this one felt like a lot like it, but just nothing happened with it.
Yeah.
I really didn't understand what was going on. I was like, oh, this is like, what? I don't know what's going on. It was like, she stopped
Yeah,
by.
quite
It
literally.
was
Quite
cool to see
literally.
cameos. It was cool to see
Yeah,
cameos
cool to see cameos.
like
I really
Helldivers.
hope this isn't the last time we see Shadow of Colossus. I really do hope they do something with Shadow Colossus in
Yeah.
secret level. That
See,
would be
I had to
really
rewind
cool.
it when I saw Kratos. I was like,
Mhm.
because the when I saw Shadow Colossus, I was like, oh, that thing looks like Shadow Colossus. I saw Kratos, like, hold up, wait a minute. So and I was
It
like,
took
okay,
you a second there.
because I didn't recognize Helldivers. You know,
You
I
didn't?
didn't know like, and even
Oh
when
my
they said
gosh.
democracy, I was like, ha, Helldivers. And then like I went back to it, and I was like, oh,
Oh
I know.
gosh.
I was like, hold on. So those weren't just masked people; those were Helldivers. Because now I saw it. Because they
Mhm.
didn't say anything about Helldivers, so I was like, okay, those aren't Helldivers. But yeah. Um, you did get to see Johnny from assuming Cyberpunk. I think that was him, right?
I don't know. I don't think that was him from Cyberpunk.
Was that not him?
It might be
Never mind.
actually.
Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. I don't think it was. I think I might be tripping. But yeah, just overall, I just didn't like it. It just seemed very like I was watching a PlayStation commercial. I was when I saw Kratos, I was like, oh hell yeah! Like in the trailer, I thought I was like, oh, we're gonna get a Kratos episode. Kratos just one hit on the ground and then he just lets her walk past. I was like, this is it. All right, all right.
Yeah.
Was this gonna have a good payoff? And it really did it. It really it
Mhm.
really did it. Kevin Hart was the villain. I just
Yeah, ended up
oh,
being the villain.
I just wasn't into it, man. I
But
was
as we were seeing Kevin Hart be the little robot, I was like, maybe he should have been the robot in Borderlands.
maybe, maybe.
But I don't know. I felt like at least PlayStation was part of this, in my opinion. You know, at least they were able to lend some of their IPs and allow them to do something with it. And at least for that, I mean, at least they gave good action sequences. It was kind of okay. I'll give it a strong 2. It didn't do much for me. It didn't do a lot of payoff, but at least we got to see some type of PlayStation collaboration with Secret Level, and hopefully it does more in the future.
I hope no, not nothing like this, man. Like there's one
But
episode.
that's what I mean. Like hopefully they do like a singular story, not
Oh,
something
okay.
like this again. What I mean is like hopefully they'll lend them an IP to do something else one day. Like maybe we'll get some dark, crazy story with Crash Bandicoot. Who knows? We'll get, like I would really enjoy for them to allow them to use something like Shadow Colossus is probably like my top pick that I would really like for them to do because I love that world of Shadow of the Colossus.
Look,
So I think that would be one of my favorites.
well, if we get a video game crossover, I hope it's not like this, man. I hope it's not like this. But overall, like I think, damn, yeah, it just wasn't good, man. I think back to a PlayStation commercial where I don't know if you've seen it, but everyone's like, all the PlayStation video game characters like for
Yep.
Todd, for Todd. Todd was
Yeah,
there
yeah.
when I.
I
You
know
remember the one
exactly. This
where
is
they're at the
exactly
bar?
what it felt like. This is pretty much what it felt like.
That was way better. You gave us like what 3 IPs in this
Hmm.
thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I just did enjoy it. I'm gonna give it a one.
A
A
one.
one.
Wow. You were
Yeah.
that disappointed.
Yep. I did not like it. I did not like it.
I think it's safe to say that's the gummy one, bro.
This is the gummy one. We already got our
Yeah.
soft gummy. The
Yeah,
ad.
that's easy.
The
Easy.
ad. Worse than Concord.
So it looks like our only arguments right now is Warhammer, Unreal Tournament, and what's the last one called?
Zan.
No,
Armor
that's
Core. Armor
Armor
Core.
Core. Armor Core.
So it was between these three.
Yeah, all of these were in the first half of the releases though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man.
That's
First half
yeah.
did it right.
They really did
If
come
you
out
look
swinging.
at it, most of the first half are up here, and then most of the
Yeah,
second half are lower at the bottom. And
yeah,
the
pretty
only one
much.
that's from the first half is Crossfire. They really should have did it wrong. But all right, so we're just trying to rank first place, second place, third place between those three: Warhammer, Armor Core, and Zan. How you want to do this, John?
I
How
don't
you want
know.
to do this?
I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I don't know how long we're gonna fight about this, dude. But I think I'm just gonna go out and say I've been thinking about it the entire time we talked about it, man. But I think Warhammer's the best one. I have to.
Warhammer's the best one.
I think Warhammer is the best one of all of them.
Mm,
I'm only saying that because like the scene when there's all darkness and like all you see is the blood that's illuminating everything was so badass, bro. Like that truly emulates the game to its core. Like, just like that kind of a badass sequence taking down this entire horde of demon alien, whatever the hell they are. Um, so I think it has to be them just because like their action sequences were so good. There was such a good sequence with that witch thing and the weird priest in that box. Like I was like, what the hell? Wait, where did this even come from? Like, holy shit. Like it was just everything about this was just a 10. Everything
so,
about it was a 10. It's
but,
crazy.
so if you had to pick a third place, which one would be?
If I had to pick a third place, I think I'd go with Zan, the Unreal
Zan?
Tournament. Yeah.
Okay. I think I would also have to pick Zan as third place. So we agree on that. We agree on that.
Yeah.
Um, for so let's say between Armor Core and Warhammer.
Mm-hmm.
What was the runtime for Armor Core? Was it
Armor
also it was
Core,
shorter, right? It was 11
tiny
minutes,
bit shorter. It was at let's see, 14 minutes.
14 minutes. I really liked Armor Core. I think Armor Core excelled, with less materials than Warhammer, honestly. And just like there was just a lot of Captain Vega moments that were really good. Um, just the as I said, the cigarette in the snow and just that loneliness. Like he's the only one with the blood. He's the only one with his own blood, and just that final scene. You thought that he saw like these people are just like him, and he's telling this AI, no, there's no one like me, and then I thought that was a lot more impactful than in
Well, with the
Warhammer.
Warhammer thing, what you take away from that one is that this guy was taken as a child to be in this Warhammer routine, and you see some guy that recruited him kind of live with that as a burden, that he created a monster essentially, as if like starting from a child, like they raised him to be a killer with no emotion, who has no fear of anything else. So you also have that story element as well, caked onto the badass action sequence that it was. So it's a toss up. It quite literally is a toss up between both of these stories,
It is. It is.
because it achieved so much in both of these. It achieved so much.
Mm-hmm. Ah man, it's just like I feel like Warhammer is just that it's that one action scene, that pretty much puts it above it. It was probably
Yeah.
good like so many minutes. And I think Armor Core was just a little bit more, how you say, it spent a little bit more time with its character.
Yeah,
You know?
it was definitely like, yeah, the character setting, and it was literally just him and that AI voice, and
Yeah.
and actually we're kind of left with the notion that this AI voice kind of doesn't exist either. Like this is actually just him. Like we're kind of left with that notion too.
Yeah.
And I did enjoy that as well. So like there's a lot of that kind of story element that really elevates it above every single other episode. But I think Warhammer just achieves more. But that's just me. It has a bigger runtime. That's one of its advantages. But I think it just achieves a little bit more because it does also have its own story sequence as well, with like a child being taken for war, essentially. And how you kind of see that development of him becoming this mindless, emotionless, like killing machine, and how that thrives over being an actual human being. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I would, I'll bite the bullet, and I think I can give Warhammer the crunchy because I honestly don't mind, Armor Core being the second best. But I'll say this, Armor Core, I can probably recite that one line. I don't think I can recite a line from Warhammer. I don't think there was any memorable quotes, but I could just memorize that one single quote. It's like no one's that there's no one like me but me, which he just
Yeah, I
delivers that
mean, but it's
super
Keanu Reeves, dude. It's Keanu Reeves.
which is really good. Did Warhammer have any uh people in it?
Let me see if it did. Mm, not anyone I know of.
Yeah, no one I know of.
No, no famous voice actors
Hmm.
that I know of, at least.
I guess I will say this. Do you think Keanu Reeves pulled this one?
You mean put it as in?
Like, do you think this one's ranked very high because of Keanu Reeves?
I believe
Like,
so.
do you think if
I
it was some other no-named actor, do you think they could have done an amazing job with
I
Keanu?
don't know that. I don't know that for sure. But Keanu Reeves really does carry in his delivery,
Mm-hmm.
because you have to create a character that also feels like the character we're watching, from the voice, I mean. So
Mm-hmm.
like that character we're watching, Keanu Reeves does such a good job with relating to that character being who where his mindset really is. And at first I actually didn't know it was Keanu Reeves, to be honest with you. So when
Oh,
I stopped it, and I was because I stopped and I was like, okay, this is really good. Like this is really good voice delivery, and you know who this is. I saw it's Keanu Reeves. I'm like, well, holy shit! No wonder I'm really liking like this
well.
character right now. So I think Keanu really does carry, to be honest with you. But that's not saying that the story wasn't good.
Yeah, yeah.
What I'm saying is that like the delivery that he had and the emotion he was able to captivate from me, it was like, holy shit! Well, no wonder I'm really into this, because it's Keanu Reeves.
But yeah, I'll throw the white flag. I'll go and we might be on this for a while. But I honestly don't mind Armor Core getting, and it's also just for that fact that like, you know, Warhammer intrigued me without having any people that I recognized from it. For me, I
Hmm.
recognized it was Keanu Reeves immediately. Like,
Hmm.
especially because I'm a huge fan of like Cyberpunk,
Hmm.
Johnny and stuff like that. But yeah, I did enjoy it. I did enjoy Armor Court, maybe just a little bit more, just because that scene was just very impactful. And I'm sort of getting a little bit more into mechs. I don't know what it is. My
It's
best
that
friend, my
Gundam show.
yeah, my best friend from my best friend from high school is slowly getting me into Gundam. He's a huge Gundam fanatic, and so I'm slowly getting into Gundam's Armor Core and stuff like that. But yeah, yeah, I'm fine with this list. Um, I think we kind of summed everything, right? You okay with
Hmm.
this list? How everything is?
Yeah, it's pretty much how I kind of imagined it going. The only one I was like wrestling with was Mega Man, dude, because I was
Yeah,
really wrestling with it because as good as I thought it suffered from the low runtime.
yeah,
Because that's the only one where like you may see this list and be like, what the fuck? Why is Mega Man so low? But because it had such a low runtime and it left you wanting more, like I had to duck it some points for that.
Mhm. I
And that's
think
pretty
Dungeons
much the
Dragons
only
too.
one. That's
I
pretty
think
much the only one I could probably like push
I,
up eventually.
I think I would push up Dungeons Dragons to A tier, like right here though.
Hmm. Which is why I'm
I,
surprised you only gave it, what was it, 4?
yeah, I give it a 4.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised you didn't give it a 5, to be honest with you.
It was just missing a little bit much. Now,
Hmm.
which is still like an A, like in graphics. I think you gave it. I think the reason why it's not up there is because you gave it 3.5.
No, I gave it a 4.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, so
Oh
it was
yeah,
an 8. Yeah.
an 8. Can I change my can I change to 4.5?
Well, we can't change it now. Now that you
Uh,
just want it
uh,
up there.
all right. Well, I mean, we could change it. Like, do you think it deserves that A?
I don't. I mean, you could argue it could go for an A, but just like, but your initial reaction was a 4. Like you gave it the 4, and you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
okay with it being with a B for now.
yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like when you look at this list, like for me, for sure, the one that I could make the biggest argument for is Mega Man.
Mega
Because then
Man.
you can say, like, okay, well, let's not look at runtime. Let's not look at what you wanted from the episode. Like, I could probably give it, an A, but it's just like I'm ranking the entire series, the entire episode. What does it accomplish in this
Mm,
runtime it does? And I just feel
mm,
like out of all of these, this is the one that it could have done more. We could
yeah,
have had like a lot of like fan service with it. And if you gave it like an extra 3 minutes, I think we could have got a little bit more from like Mega Man fans at least.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. When you say that, I think Dodge Dragons does deserve a higher score than that because it did accomplish a lot.
It does. It does.
It did accomplish a lot. Like they got the cleric at the very end. A lot of people say like, oh, it left it at the height of the giant
It
battles
does.
like
Yeah, it does leave it at a very, like what happens next time.
that.
you know?
Yeah, but I think that was warranted. Like I don't think it could have done like this huge fight team. I think it was just enough to. Well, I don't know. I guess it all depends on the person. I mean, I was like, okay, I can understand why it would end off right there, you know.
Hmm. Yeah.
But all right, overall, I mean, I think I'm fine with this list. You, John?
Yeah, I'm pretty satisfied, dude.
Yeah, I can't wait for season 2. Hopefully, they have a good picket of items. I saw a lot of people complain like, oh, there was no Gears of War, no Halo, no this, no that. I was like,
Because they said no. That's why.
I was like, calm down, guys, calm down. You're gonna see some games that you don't know that you some very obscure games, but that's what a game is all about. It's not just about the mainstream games. Of course, we got
Exactly.
Spelunky, the Outer Worlds, um, maybe obviously we probably won't get many of these. Like I don't know. I mean, some
I
of these
would
I
I
joined.
would
I
love to
joined
see something
Honor.
Fallout. I would love to see something Fallout.
You got the TV show, man. You don't need an animated
But
show.
like but in this kind of animation, I would love to see it, dude. I would love to see something Fallout or something that leads into Fallout. So like right before the bomb drops or something.
Oh,
Something
that'd
like
be
that.
awesome.
That would be kind of cool.
I thought you were
You know?
saying something leading to the actual show, like the actual.
Oh, I guess
You,
that would
you
be a
ever
good
saw?
idea too. But
Like,
I would enjoy something like right before the bomb drops, kind of thing.
that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Um, I'm trying to figure out what I would want to see. I don't know. Maybe something with Final Fantasy. Hopefully,
Yeah, that I don't know if they're
like
gonna be able to get that IP, but
yeah. I mean, something
yeah,
I
that's gonna be
really
a
enjoy.
tough one.
Like yeah, I really enjoy watching Advent Children. I'm not sure if you ever saw that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it was like one of their animated films that they did with the Final Fantasy VII, which is really good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, there's so many, and maybe I'll make like a top 10 of secret level episodes I want to see or the IPs. I'll try to make it like five mainstream and five, these smaller ones because that's I'll get to them. This some of these I didn't know. Like if I went down the line, this one didn't know. This one's coming out, so of course I didn't know. Um, didn't know.
Like I didn't know like half of these, to be honest with you.
But yeah, like I enjoyed, Elstrom. Never heard of whatever he's
Mm-hmm.
from. Like the New World. Never heard of it. But would it make me want to play it? Maybe. Am I playing as Arnold Schwarzenegger? I doubt it. So, but yeah, any final thoughts, John?
No, man, that's it for me.
All right, cool. Let us know which one you think is the very best. Let us know if you agree with our list with Warhammer being our MVP, the GOAT, the Crunchy, with Keanu Reeves in Armored Core being second place, Zan being third place, and of course, the playtime ad commercial is Soft Gummy. Let us know if you agree with that. Let us know how you would rank them differently. Like and subscribe. All in all, stay crunchy.